So here we are. I'm going to tell you a story. The year was 2000. The world had not ended at the end of 1999 like had been theorized. So the year was 2000. The movie Gladiator came out in the year 2000. George Bush narrowly defeated Al Gore in the 2000 presidential election. The famous cartoonist and creator of the comic strip Peanuts, Charles Schulz, died in his sleep after a long battle with colon cancer. That was in the year 2000. And also in the year 2000, I killed my first deer. I was 14 years old. I'm just going to kind of go off my memory of this hunt, which I don't remember a lot of it. I do remember the details of kind of the shot and things like that. So I had been hunting since I was 10 years old. So I hunted when I was 10, 11, 12. This was my fourth year going on a deer hunt. The 3 years previous were pretty slim pickings. Either we wouldn't see a lot of deer or if we did see some deer and find some bucks, no shots were taken, nothing like that. I was not able to harvest a deer. I never even had, my scope, my rifle on a deer set up for a shot, nothing like that. No opportunities. So I was 14 years old. It was an October hunt. It was a general hunt. I don't even know if youth hunts existed back then. If they did, we didn't apply for those, or we didn't know about them. I don't know. So I remember my dad was there, obviously. I also remember my brother-in-law, Jeff. He was with us on that hunt. And I'm pretty sure Justin was there and my brother Ryan was there, but I think we were hunting in separate areas or something, or maybe they weren't there. But at the time of the shot and everything, when all that went down, it was just my dad and my brother-in-law, Jeff. We were in Unit 30A, and we had finally found some deer, and we found a little buck with some does. It was still hanging out with some does. We were able to get a little bit closer. We got to just under 300 yards. We were kind of on the side of a ridge, and these deer were kind of feeding out of this saddle up onto the top of the next ridge, but they were kind of still just on our side a little bit, kind of coming up out of this saddle. Pretty thick brush over there where they were at. So where we could get set up and kind of get out of the brush and have some shooting lanes was on like a rock slide, kind of some rocks, no big boulders or anything, but a rock slide. It was rocky right there. I was not able to prone out, so I was in a seated position and using the bipod on the rifle. So one of the bipods was out just a little bit and it's on a rock, and then the other bipod leg is out, extended as far as it would go down the hill onto another rock, and I'm seated in a seated position. My dad kind of guides me in on which deer is the buck, and so we get all set up. I get on the deer. I cannot see the deer's head at this point. I'm going off of the directions of my dad. Hey, do you see that bush? Hey, do you see that? Okay, see the deer. He's facing to the left. You can see his butt. Yep, his head's in this bush. Okay, he just lifted his head up. Yep, okay, there he is, confirming that's the buck. And now I just need to take the shot. He's standing broadside and everything's good to go. I was shooting a 243 and we were shooting a 95 grain Nosler ballistic tip. That rifle, it's still in the family. I think Justin has it. His son Zach killed a ton of stuff with that rifle over the years. That's what I was using. And all growing up, when we would go shooting and practice and everything like that, the phrase that my dad would repeat all the time was, if you are not steady, don't shoot. And so I took that literally. Like, hey, if I was not rock steady, firm, crosshairs not moving at all, then I couldn't shoot. So I'm on this deer, I'm excited. I'm not in the best position. I'm in a seated position, bipod down. We didn't have a pack or anything up behind me, you know, in my lap or anything like that. Definitely now I would do something like that, but at that time we didn't. And so my crosshairs are kind of floating all around on this deer. And my dad says, all right, I'm on him, you're on him, we're ready whenever you're ready. And my crosshairs are just not staying steady. And so I keep thinking in my head, if you're not steady, don't shoot. If you're not steady, don't shoot. Come on, Jared, you gotta get steady. And I wasn't. My dad and brother-in-law would like you to believe that hours went by before I pulled the trigger. It was probably a minute or two, which seems like a lifetime. And also, they're in this thick brush. If he takes a step or two, then we got to wait for another window, you know, whatever. So we were ready to take the shot. I don't recall if there was any discussion about, hey, as long as your crosshairs are staying on his body and within a couple inches of that kill zone and they're kind of floating right there, just start to press that trigger and we'll be fine. I don't know if there was that discussion or not. I don't think so. That's definitely something we've learned over the years and with experience in my prior profession and things like that. At any rate, I took the shot, the deer dropped. We were able to go over there and recover him, everything, and that was my first deer. Here he is in all his skull cap glory. I mean, basically a spike, right? No eye guards. And actually, you know, these little points coming up, they're not measurable. They're not an inch. So I guess technically a spike, but a little, you know, a little 2-point I would call him. Still has a little bit of hair down here around the bases. But yeah, that was my first buck. And I already loved hunting. I enjoyed hunting a lot. And, you know, being able to finally harvest my first animal and my first Coues whitetail, that solidified that, you know, that concreted that passion, that desire, that feeling of success, that feeling of working super hard, and then it all coming together and having that experience. So that was my first deer, the year 2000. And there he is. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Maybe it made you think of your first harvest, the first time you killed an animal, killed your deer for the first time. I hope it helped you reminisce a little bit about that. It's something that I enjoy doing. And I hope you enjoy the start of this new video series. If you do, please like this video, comment below about the experience of your first animal, your first harvest, what it was, where it was, maybe some quick thoughts and memories. And I'd love to read those and take a look at those. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. And we will catch you on the next one.